All right, I'm back at it. What's up, everyone? This is Dylan. It's been a long while since I've uploaded, and I've kind of just moved away from that whole vlogging thing, so we're just gonna kind of forget about that, okay? I mean, I'll leave it up for nostalgia purposes, but I'm done with that. Anyway, so we're gonna kind of go through a rebranding here to just kind of go with more of what I'm into now. And right now, as you can tell from the title of this video, I am going to be 3D printing a RC plane. So this video is going to give the setup and the plan and what I've done so far. So right now I'm printing on the Ender 3 Pro, slightly modified. It's not anything too crazy. I changed out the boat into a Capricorn tube just off of Amazon, mostly to print these, and I'll explain these in a minute. I changed this one a while back. It's just a metal cold end for the extruder. Again, nothing too fancy. And then this glass bed actually came with it, but I don't think it normally comes with it. The place we bought it though said, hey, you want, they for like an extra $5-10 we can include the glass bed. So I have that. Other than that, it's basically stock. I haven't changed any motors or the hot end or anything. Just how it comes. And so basically, if you have an Ender 3 and you want to print this project, I'm trying to set it up to where you can print it on the Ender 3 and slicing it in Cura. So the plan to print is we're going to print a 3D Lab Prints Q20 Trainer, QTrainer, whatever you want to call it. It says QTrainer on the wings. From like I just said, 3D Lab Prints. I'll put a link in the description of to get to them to buy the files. I can't provide them. They were the ones who made the files. They're pretty cheap at $20 files. So we're gonna go with that. It's just a nice starter plane. Honestly, from what I've heard, I probably shouldn't even start with a 3D printed plane, but I just have the printer and I just figured, well, I'm not doing anything else with it. So we're printing QTrainer on an Ender 3, slicing in Cura. It comes with some included G-code and I think factory files for Simplify 3D. So if you have those slicers, or if you have any of the Prusa machines, the included G-code works better with those. But a lot of people, want to use a free slicer and a budget printer. So I'm trying to get there, and I feel like I'm on the right track. I'm really close to getting this dialed in correctly. So what I've done so far, I've printed 2 test wings. So this isn't the final color that I'm going to print it in. It is going to be red, but it's actually going to be this red. This transparent red. It's just a from Zero, Z-I-R-O, off of Amazon. I'll put a link in the description to them. It's nice. I can show you. I'm not printing much else with it right now, but here's a benchy. Let me put it in the light for you guys. I have a flashlight. I have a flash on my phone too. Try to get it just right. The camera doesn't do it justice. Let me try something. There we go. Kind of see it better like that. Still a little bright, but it's a little. I really like how it looks, and a lot of people print their planes in clear or translucent filament. So I thought I hadn't really seen one in red. I've seen parts in red, but I haven't seen like the full thing in red. So my plan's red, and I was originally going to do silver accent colors. It doesn't look too bad on this landing gear, but with the landing gear tires, I don't know, I don't like it. Let me know what you guys think. I also don't have a ton of silver, so I feel like I'm going to run out. So my current plan is red and the transparent red and the black filament together. I just think it would be a nice little combo. We can play around, thinking about printing a scale model for the plane, just so I can test what it looks like. I'm not going to print it exactly how I'm going to print this, but just to see it kind of put together at a quarter scale, just so I can get a feel for how it's going to go together. So these test prints. So this is the first test print I did. I printed this yesterday. It is not printed in the transparent. This is just, again, to test the filament. So I printed it. I adjusted some settings based off of Stefan's from CNC Kitchen. His slicing profile from when he did a 3D printed plane. But that video is like a few years old, and it's just like, so not, there's more settings in Cura now, so I feel like it's a little bit different now. And so this first one, what I'm changing right now is the flow. His was at 105% flow. He says in the video to increase the flow rate a little bit, so I said okay. So I increased it, and his video showed 105%, so I figured that's what I'd do. But this piece specifically needs to be 49 grams according to the user guide, and this piece is only like 40 grams, so it's a whole almost 10 grams lighter than it needs to be. So obviously that needs to change. Other than it being too light, it's strong. Like the layer adhesion's good. I can't break the thin parts together, because this is just how the structure is with this custom infill to make it light as possible. The layer adhesion's good. It will snap if you push. You hear that? Hear that? It will snap if you. Those are just the actual structure, the support structure breaking. It is not the these diamonds. You see it light. These areas are really strong. They're not coming apart. And then those, they're structural, but it's not. They aren't breaking apart too bad. So 105% flow is too light. So then I resliced it to 115% flow, and that showed that it was going to be the proper 49 grams in the slicer. And I'll show you guys this in a minute. So 49 grams. It did not come out to 49 grams. It came out to 43 grams. So it needs to be just a little bit heavier. But I feel like I'm getting on the right track with increasing the flow. I did see in someone else's video, I'll link it below. He didn't get into too much detail, but he did say that the bottom one had 2 extrusion widths, which might be important for gluing it together, which of course we'll get into later when I actually have more of the pieces printed. Right now it's just test pieces until I have the settings dialed in, and then I'll probably have to change the settings again to print it in that transparent format. We'll wait and see, but we're on the right track, and it's definitely possible to slice it in Cura. It's just, you just gotta know what you're doing and dialing the settings, and I honestly don't really know. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I feel like I'm getting close. So the landing gear, we got it right here. These are the tires, and this is why I changed out that Bowden tube, like I said just a minute ago. I needed to print TPU for the tires. You can see that squishes. Broke it. I knew I would do that. I think I might need to reprint these eventually. I printed it with 8 walls, and then it was supposed to be 8 top and bottom layers, I think, but maybe that's a little bit different in that direction. So I need to adjust that a bit, increase the strength of it, maybe like put a bead of super glue around the edge, help seal it up a little more. But they printed out really well. TPU prints surprisingly well on the Ender 3 if you have that metal cold end in the Bowden tube. I honestly should have even tried it with the stock Bowden tube, but I heard horror stories, so I didn't really want to risk it. And I needed to change anyway. I'd gotten clogs and stuff before. So I printed, there's 2 wheels, 2 bigger wheels, and then I'm printing it with the tail dragger. The tail dragger setup, so it also has this 3rd tiny wheel. The light, there we go, nice and cute. And then the actual landing gear. These will get glued together. I just didn't, not yet. I'm not gonna glue it quite yet. And then I'll need some screws to attach it. And then these also will get glued together. I'll probably need to fill that gap right there. See that? And I'm pushing it together as much as I can. It warped just a tad. It's not a structural piece. Well, it is a structural piece, but it's not like part of the actual aerodynamics and stuff. At least not that part specifically. So I'm gonna have to fill that in with some sand or something, and super glue. Maybe even try to dust up some filament, but that'd be kind of difficult. But I bet I could. But all in all, it's probably not the end of the world. It's just the back landing gear. It's not even taking them up, but the bulk of the weight. What else up here? Oh, speaking of warping, it's hard to tell in the video, but I'll try to show you guys. These bottom edges didn't print out perfectly. They selected the bed, thank goodness, but they did warp a bit on these corners. It's just how it ends up with printers, at least this one. And on this glass bed, it doesn't stick as well as on the build-tack surface. So I need to figure something out, either find an adhesive to help stick it down. Both of them did it, by the way. Find some adhesive or print it with a small brim, which I might end up doing just to fix that problem, but it's not the end of the world. Yeah, the pieces are strong. So I think that's all up here. I'm gonna go downstairs and on the computer, show you guys my slicing settings right now. Increase the flow rate a little to hopefully get it up to that 49 grams this piece needs to be at. Print it out. I'll give you guys a time lapse for that, and then I'll get back to you, and I think that'll be the end of the video. So, see you guys downstairs. All right, so let's go into Cura. So here we are. I have my printer set up for me, and I have my settings right here. I'll show you those in a second. Let's bring in the wing first. So we got this, drop that in there. So we have our wing. So one of the things that I also need to figure out is this piece right here, these little tabs, so that when you put it in the next wing, it helps you line it up, so you don't have to get it perfect. We want to get it perfect, but it helps you get it perfect. Or neither of those, that wasn't a word. Anyway, so those break off super easily. I might end up just super gluing them or something, kind of doing a bead of glue along that and then gluing it together just to hold it in place. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, I'll show you guys the settings. So the layer height, so a lot of these are what they suggest and what CNC Kitchen suggests. So 0 to 2.5 layer height. So just a little bit bigger layer height, because normally I print at 2. Line width is 0.4. Kind of just skimming, but I make sure you guys can see everything. Wall thickness is 0.4, so only one wall. That's very important. So if I slice it, right now it should see this piece right here should be 49 grams, right? You see that right there. But if I put this to 2, it's now 95 grams, and it should not be that much. So, so just one wall. So one wall, no top or bottom layers. Optimize wall printing order, that doesn't really matter. Fill gaps in between walls, nowhere. So a lot of these you don't want to keep those. I'll show you some ones that you also don't need on, because it can ruin the print, so you don't need that anywhere. Horizontal expansion. Don't worry about that. Disable ironing, I think it's not on by default. So no infill. Watch what happens when I even just put 1% infill. You wouldn't think it does much because there's no walls, but it ends up ruining this structure. So no infill. Printing temperature 220. Print it a little hotter than you normally print PLA. It just helps with the strength. I go up to 220. I print my my premium filaments, like the PLA Pro or the transparent PLA, which I'll probably end up printing it even hotter. Shiny filaments that I have, like the silver. It just makes it a little stronger, I think, is what a lot of people say. print speed at 50, I think I could change that a bit depending on how much I increase the flow. But this I didn't really touch. Yeah, didn't really touch any of that. Keep retraction on. Set this to your printer if you're not using under 3, but I think this is what it comes with. I have part cooling enabled, but very low, 30%, just to help, just so it does solidify before the next layer prints on it. But if the speed's low enough, you might not even need that, or if you're printing multiple parts at the same time, you won't need it at all. But just because I'm printing the one piece, I don't want it to ruin the print. No support, obviously. I have the skirt on. Again, I might, actually, let's do this new print with the brim. We'll just do like a 3 millimeter brim. Alright, perfect. Okay, yeah, let's keep the brim on. Just a small brim, see if that helps with that warping issue I told you guys about earlier. Don't have any dual extruders. Mesh fixes. Okay, so mesh fixes. Turn all these off. Just because of how they've designed these, this will, if you don't turn these off, it will ruin the whole print. So just turn everything off. These have to be on, or else it will give you an error, won't let you slice it. Surface mode set to normal, slicing tolerance set to exclusive. So let's go back to the flow. Let's look it up. I forget where it is. Here we go. So flow. So let's, because even though it slices to 49 grams, remember we were still getting it slightly under that. So let's try 125. I probably should increase it to 120, but let's see what it says. It is. So it's 54 grams. So yeah, so slightly increase the flow to 125%. This is still testing right now. I'll let you guys know my final settings when I've gotten everything printed out, and specifics if if the fuselage is printed different than the wings and the wings different than the tail and all of that. I'll let you guys know everything. And I'll see if I can even export the G-code file, not the G-code files, but the G-code settings, so that you guys can try and use them too if you have an Ender 3. But let's save it to the file. I'll get back to you guys on how much this one weighs, and we'll see where we go from there, and then that'll probably be the end of the video. So see you guys after the time lapse. I meant to film it last night, but it was late, so when it finished, so I decided just to record it the next day. And I have some good news. So this is the third and final test for this part, at least. I might need to do it again for the fuselage. But it came out to just about 49 grams. It was about 48, 49 is kind of hovering between there. So I figured that was close enough. I'm going to go forward with it. And so went ahead and printed it in the transparent red. This one ended up being around 50 grams, but I'll talk more about this in the next episode. Probably we'll have the whole wing done by then. But that gives me hope that we can do this. So that's about it. I mean, it works and it's ready to go. So I'll be putting a few things in the description, probably a place you can download the same slicing settings. And yeah, that's about it. So let me guys know what you think about this new channel idea, just going in this direction. I'm thinking about weekly uploads of this project, and if this isn't going anywhere, because I have actually ordered all the parts for the actual airplane, but if those parts take forever to get here, I'll probably do another project in between. There's already one I was working on, so I might finish that up on camera rather than by my, just doing it because I wanted to. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, help my channel grow a bit, just so I can share this experience with other people. I think it's really helpful to see someone who's not very well experienced in either of these things get this project done. So tell me if you like the channel name or not. I kind of like Projects with Dylan, but I don't know, I feel like it's a little weird. So let me know if you have a better channel idea or channel name idea. And tell me what you think of this project. Other than that, that's about it, guys. So see you next week.